All right, I had been home for probably almost an hour, and we got a call to a no heat call, of course, to a basically a retirement area. It's kind of like little small condos. Some of them are townhomes. They're all kind of connected, so little village area, a lot of them call it. Mostly retirees. And anyway, the lady's son called me and said he was concerned the carbon monoxide testers in the house were reading high. I didn't ask any questions, but you know, not every house has those. So I'm gonna take it, maybe there's an older furnace, maybe somebody had advised them if they worked on it before. I don't know. Like I say, I'm just guessing. I didn't ask any questions. I just said I'd get over there and see if we could get her some heat. So anyway, he had her to shut it all the way off, and it's gonna be 25 tonight as the low. So a lot of people could wait, but in this case, I said I'd get in my truck and go on over there. So it's probably about a 10-12 minute drive, not too bad, and we'll see what's going on. Okay, this is a gated community. Yep, there it goes. So we're in here a couple of times this summer, and I keep a list of the codes to the gated communities just in case we need it. Looks like that one still works, but like I say, a lot of times it'll be changed. Here next to all these lights. Let's see what we can find out. Okay, looks like some of these lights are actually hers. They I believe these people here really enjoy their life. Little small yards, close neighbors, look out for each other pretty well, I guess. Let's go see what the furnace looks like. Looks like there's the door off of the old unit that was here before the gas furnace was here. And not that often we see a condensing type furnace. In an attic, because they can freeze. It's a Goodman furnace. Now I noticed on the way up here the thermostat was dead. What in the world's all this say? So anyway, what these things originally had, and you can see all these crazy plumbing pipes going everywhere, is they originally had a, you know, a hydronic unit for heat. Had a coil in it. I tell you what, these There ain't much place for me to sit, but we'll get it. Okay. So we are getting a light on the board to the furnace. Let's stick our jumper wire on it. See if it fires up. Okay, got the jumper from red to white. This is an old enough Goodman that was before they had terminals, really. I mean, they're on there, but they run the wires outside of the cabinet. Get the Nebo back off. All right, and here's the reason I keep a little assortment of small stuff in my pocket. Hate to have to go all the way to the truck if there was no other reason to get a wire nut. That thing twisted a bunch of the wire off there. Okay. Let's see what happens when we power up this board. I did not expect to see a 90% furnace in this attic. I really didn't. There is quite a kink right there. It's not able to drain real good. Quite a bit of sticky stuff all over these hoses. And this one just sticks up in the air for some sort of vent, I guess. What in the world would that be? This higher one here just vents. It's an old furnace. How old is this thing? 1995. This thing has seen its better days. Flue motor don't sound real healthy. I heard a click. I don't see any red glowing. There it comes. There goes the flame. Okay, so let's get this back door back on it. And then we'll fire it up again. That way when the blower comes on, we can watch these flames. This thing is old, so I'm going to be very careful about fixing whatever's going on here. Okay. Put the door back on. Okay. Now what I'm going to look for here is just a very primitive, simple, old-timey watch the flames when the blower comes on. See if there's any That was a lot of rollout right there. I don't know if you saw that. But that is a sign of either a weak inducer motor or maybe a heat exchanger problem. Let's watch these flames when the fan comes on. I don't know if the camera can show it, but I can see the one in the middle was definitely affected. Saw a little dancing, that's what I call it. I'll shut it off. We'll let the fan cool the heat exchanger all the way back down. And I'm going to fire it up again. And before I fix the thermostat or low voltage or whatever is stopping it from working downstairs, I'm going to leave it jumped out and go down here in the house, and I'm going to take a temperature rise difference on it. We're going to use some primitive ways of seeing what's going on here. Now, I don't have a whole lot of faith in a furnace this old, and I'll tell you, this motor really, it's not hot, but it sounded slow and weak to me. And see if we can make sure this thing's safe before we go fixing it. All right, I'm going to do this one more time. And while it's running, we'll go downstairs and take some readings and see what we think of it. With this light off, you'll be able to see this rollout. It wasn't constant, but it was just on the initial fire up. And I don't know if you can hear. This vent motor really doesn't sound good, the induced draft motor. But let's watch this thing fire up and see what I was talking about. And we'll also watch the, see that, but the flame came out here. And we will also try to watch the flames react to the fan again. I saw the middle one and the top one. It's a little harder to see because the hot surface igniter is up there. We'll see. I think it's so bright on the camera. Probably not going to show well on the video, but I can see it with my eyes plain as day. They were definitely affected. Oh yeah. That middle was dancing up a storm. You've probably seen all we need to see here, but I'm going to let it heat some while I'm here. She does have a couple of space heaters going down there, so she's not going to freeze. All right. Trap there. I don't like the way these drains are. That thing lays real flat across there, so it's just got to build up a lot of gravity, and then I can see where it runs over there into a plumbing vent. This looks like a change out candidate for me. And in the event that we do it, I'm going to raise this unit up. There's no reason for it not to be one or two more blocks higher. It'll get a little bit more length on that return, and it'll get this some fall on this drain here. Let's go down here and take a look and see what the results of all this is going on.
Nothing's wrong here. My son said, is it blowing heat? I said, I don't know, let me go see. I didn't feel anything.
Putting out about 118 degrees.
The cardiologist told 7-Eleven, no, she can't work, she's too high a risk. So now I don't have a job, you know, I'm like, oh my God. Well, it's tough when you gotta get on Social Security.
See what it's taking in.
Terrible thing was, my home insurance didn't pay for my water, for the pipe.
I just want to see that we have one and it's active.
I got a cat in there, but.
And you do have one of these in your bedroom
Yeah.
too?
Same one.
Okay. All right. So you saw the temperature rise. Not 100% sure if the video really lets you see the flame shaking the way it did. So what I suggested was that we replace that system, or that somebody does, as soon as possible. And we talked about it, and you know, with her son and with her nice lady that lives there, and they're going to try to make some kind of decision pretty quick about that. She does have a couple of little space heaters, and so I suggested not running the furnace and absolutely not going to sleep with it on. She does have those carbon monoxide testers, one in the bedroom and one in the living room. It was kind of behind the couch, so it was a little bit out of the flow for my taste, but anyway, I think we'll likely be replacing that furnace at least, and if not the whole system. And if we don't, I certainly hope somebody does pretty quick. Didn't want to do any further testing, didn't want to spend money on it, digging into it, and I'll tell you why. And a lot of people are going to say, well, I would have done this, I would have done that, I would have done a combustion analysis, I would have, you know, opened the transition and looked at the heat exchanger with a camera. A lot of guys are going to say a lot of that stuff. And, you know, I see enough of the telltale signs there that I just wouldn't trust that furnace. The 1995 Goodman brand furnace, to me, is at the end of its life expectancy. I would say beyond it, and that they got their money's worth out of it, and I'm just going to suggest we replace it right away. So if we do the change out, I'll do a little after video of that, and we'll keep you posted. But I really appreciate you watching. See you on the next one.